Today, we're going to talk about hooking the viewer. Basically, what are we going to do to stop the scroll? You're going to hear a lot today. I'm going to say the word Instagram, but just know that that translates out of Instagram into Facebook, TikTok, pick another app, YouTube. Also with YouTube now having the always having a long form and now having the short form. The short form, some of the hook style conversation pieces that we're going to get into today is going to be really relevant to that, but it doesn't exclude the relevancy of it from the long form content as well. I just think a lot of times the longer form, you have a little bit more grace, but you definitely don't want to take advantage of that. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Like I said, my name is Jeff Bannon, and I'm going to share a screen here. I'm going to go in and out of the shared screen though, just because I like to see faces as we go, but I do think that there's going to be some help with that. Too many windows open. There we go. So bear with me as I get this rolling with the share. All right. So Instagram hacks to hook viewers. Again, not just for Instagram, but can you guys see the shared screen, Shannon?
Yeah, you're good.
It totally changed my screen here. So basically, this is I believe, make or break for a reel or for a short form piece of content. So we've got to know how to do it. What are we going to learn today, or what are we going to talk about today? Just a few different items here. What is a hook? Where did hooks come from? Why are hooks so important? Do's and don'ts in different styles. How to get a good hook. Delivery examples. And then we're going to have a little bit of time towards the end to actually spend time building hooks. So what is a hook? Like I said, I'm going to go in and out of sharing screen because I like to actually be able to look at you guys. So from a standpoint, from a hook, the hook is the attention grabber that gets your audience invested in your video. It happens in the first few seconds and it sets the tone for what comes next. Your hook could be a question, a promise, or some sort of visual. Where did hooks come from? It's not a new topic. It's been around forever. Used in writing, like authoring of books, magazine, news articles. It's also something that we see in presentations. A hook in a presentation is the opening tactic that immediately captures the audience imagination. As the word implies, it's basically like a hook or a worm on the hook, on the fishing hook that attracts the fish. A hook instantly engages your audience so that they want to learn and pay attention what you're saying from stage. And in a presentation, you might have 20, 30 seconds to hook as opposed to the 3 seconds. And we'll come back to that in a second. Hooks in music are catchy and memorable, something that listeners want to listen to over and over again, stays stuck in your head long after the song is over and makes you going back for more. And then teachers have also used hooks in the classroom for years to grab their students' attention or not. And we can probably all remember the good teachers and the not so good teachers. And my guess is most of the good teachers were ones that would have hooked the classroom and actually had you want to pay attention to what they were talking about. So is a hook the same as clickbait? I would say absolutely not. No, clickbait creates a disconnect between the headline and the content, while a catchy hook gives people more of what they came for. Okay, so clickbait offers no value with some sort of hype attached and something that is more or less unbelievable. Hooks lead to value from either an entertainment, education, inspiration, or a combination of those three. And again, clickbait is nothing but false headlines with no real content, simply looking for clicks. This being said, always deliver what you say in your hook. It's a big encouragement. So whatever it is that you're trying to hook your audience with for the sake of getting their attention, you want to make sure that you then deliver the value that you promised. And really the hook becomes a promise, okay? Why is a good hook important? I would say attention spans are so short. People are scrolling through social media and mostly there for mindlessness. Think distractions from real life, or maybe that dopamine hit. No one's thinking I'm going there for a dopamine hit, but that's what's happening. And then we have to interrupt them, and we are competing for that attention with so much more than just the app. The things that we're competing with other than good stuff in Instagram or whatever app you're in are things like TV. Maybe you're watching a game or a show and then the ads come on. And what do? You go right to your phone to get on your favorite app. You have to compete with that. Then kids, pets, work, so many other distractions. So just know that we're constantly in an attention battle for attention. So why 3 seconds? The reason for that is because Facebook has determined that more or less. It's what they consider to be a video view. So a number of years ago was they're still charging for advertising, But in the early days of charging for advertising around videos, the second a video was started to be watched, you were getting charged. They got a lot of pushback. And then the pushback was, well, what if they see it come across the screen and they never actually engage or see it more than just like scrolling past it? They said, we have to give some sort of meaningful moment where we can say, okay, that has been a view. So Facebook started considering 3 seconds to be a view. So if you could grab somebody's attention and get them to stay there for 3 seconds, Facebook was saying, cool, we can now charge you for that ad spend. And it's kind of become this ongoing momentary conversation of, well, how long do we need? Then you start to see, if you really go down a rabbit hole, different platforms and how long they believe that you have before they're going to lose the attention. So YouTube has done a lot of homework on that. Netflix has done a lot of homework on that. I believe they said the Netflix hook, which is just a visual, is less than 2 seconds. It's somewhere in between 1.5 and 1.8 seconds for your brain to decide, should I read the caption on what this show or movie is about or move on? So as you can see, we're inundated with so much visual imagery that it's on to the next, on to the next, on to the next so quickly. So to actually get somebody to lean in, that's why it's 3 seconds. And YouTube, you might have a little bit longer, oftentimes because people are searching on YouTube. And I'm not talking about short form content, but for your longer form. But when it comes to the short stuff, we don't have a lot of time. As salespeople, the first sale that we have to make is the attention sale. This is indeed attention marketing. Okay. If we don't stop the scroll, our friends, our sphere of influence, a potential agent referral partner, potential new friends and new clients won't even see what we are trying to share with them. So it really is important that we grab their attention initially. We could have the best information, but if we don't stop the scroll, that information is never going to be seen. Also, if our content is not consumed, the app is going to show it to less and less people, therefore working against us. So again, we might have great content, but if it doesn't get seen and the app doesn't think that it's worth sharing to other folks, it's not going to push it to other folks, okay? If we are going to work hard on the content creation and then creating the value that we have that comes after the hook, it might as well be seen. And to make that happen, the app must believe that this is content that will hold people's attention. But to hold the attention, we must grab and gather that attention first.